Hi, have you seen what these people are wearing as masks in America? Have a look at this. So, I don't know if you can see all right. Yeah, look, there's a lady with a bag on her head, and there's a couple here. They've got strange sort of wing masks, and this one here. Look at that. That one there. And there's a lady here with a Brillo pad and a man with a bra. You see that? There's a man with a bra and a woman with a Brillo pad. Whatever next, eh? So, I don't know if you can see, but this is supposed to be a pink shirt. And yeah, we always think that pink is for girls and blue for boys, but no. Look at this. So this is a girl dressed in blue, and this is a boy dressed in pink, a bright pink like that. So it wasn't until the 1950s that some man decided that pink was for girls and blue for boys. Pretty much after the war, women used to wear sort of blue overalls in the factories and things during the war. And as a contrast to that, this man thought, yeah, let's get them wearing pink. So it hasn't always existed that girls for pink. Anyway, a little joke now. What kind of country is England if everybody drove a pink Mini? A pink carnation. You see that? A pink carnation. Yeah. Now you see these here, these pictures, they look like girls, but in fact all three are rather middle class, upper class boys, and in fact boys were allowed to be girls years ago, and babies used to be dressed and often looked the same. They wear the same sort of clothes, boys and girls, as young kids wear the same clothes. There was no sexual stereotyping all those years ago, and there we go. So anyway, back in the 1970s, I used to be a food manager. After going to college, I worked in a food factory with all these very, very hard-working women, and there we are. That's the sort of place I worked in, and they used to earn less money purely because they were women than men with inferior jobs, less skilled jobs, such as sweeping the floor and things like that. So these highly skilled women making food, mass produced food like that, earn less than less skilled men. And of course there was hygiene considerations and all that sort of thing. I used to say to them, oh, there's a union meeting up tomorrow, maybe you should go along. They go, oh no, I'm not important enough for that. No, leave that to the men. Oh no, I've got to go home and cook dinner for my husband. So they saw their job as secondary, and they saw themselves as less important than the men. And I try as I did my best to try and get them to go to union meetings, they never used to go. And I used to try and get them to ask for pay rises. Oh no, I don't deserve a pay rise. Men deserve more money than women. Oh dear. And the manager of the company looked like this. He was sort of having a nervous breakdown all the time. And the power behind the throne of the manager was this rather fearsome lady with this huge beehive hairstyle. And she used to be on about a quarter of the pay. And she was quite frightening, actually. So I remember if we wanted things done, we would sort of talk loudly over at lunchtime so she could hear. When we had our lunch breaks, we would make sure she could hear what we were on about, and then she'll tell the boss to do it. She used to tell the managers to do everything. She was the real boss, really. So there she was. And, you know, we always think of women as being not very technical and not very good at things like that, and that they just, you know, they just sort of look after men and just do cooking and cleaning. Well, that's not true. women throughout the centuries have been all famous inventors of all sorts of things, and we're going to talk about that now. And people often assume that women are no good at that sort of thing, but they are. Women are, okay? And the shocking thing is they've invented loads and loads of things, but never got credit for it. So one of the worst case examples of this, you know the game Monopoly? This was invented in 1904 by this lovely lady called Lizzie Maggie, and of course she called it landlords, and a man stole the game and called it Monopoly, and he made loads and loads and loads of money, and Lizzie got hardly anything at all, let alone any acknowledgement. Another famous one, which is little known, is the case of Mrs. Schilling's orifice. Oh, orifice? Yes, well, Miss Schilling, during the war, invented this orifice in a special valve that stopped the engines flooding on the Spitfires during the war. And we wouldn't have won the war, because Spitfires, when they turned and rolled like that, the engine would have flooded. And she invented this little ring thing that stopped the engine flooding. Wasn't that clever? And did you know a woman invented windscreen wipers? Yeah, Mary Anderson. Absolutely amazing. And this woman here, she invented the mass-produced paper bag. And we need to go back to them. And this woman was invented, Josephine Cochrane, she invented the dishwasher. What a fabulous invention, eh? The dishwasher. And Melita, she invented the filter coffee machine, and you can still see her products, you know, her filter papers and things like that on the shelves today. And this lady was a serial inventor. She invented loads of things, and she improved like ice cream freezers, typewriters. She worked on motor cars, all sorts of things. And this lovely lady, Jeanne Villepreux, invented the aquarium. And there's a lot of debate about bras. Some people say all men invented them. But the truth is, this lady, Caress, her name was Mary Phelps Jacob, and she invented the bra in 1910, and it was a lot more comfortable than those corset things that men had invented. And this woman called Stephanie Krolek, she invented, she was working in a tire place, and she invented this fantastic material which was used for bulletproof vests, saving loads of lives. And this young lady, they reckon she's a boy, but actually she is a girl. She invented a machine that safely makes kindling wood. Isn't that brilliant? Yeah, following seeing her mum. So anyway, back in the day, the typing pool, there we see all these women all crammed together, all getting high on the Tipex, all banging away on the old-fashioned typewriters with their carbon paper, and getting high on the Tipex stuff, which was, of course, invented by a woman called Betty Nesmith Graham. And there they all were, and then a buzzer would go bzz, 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 bzz. Oh, Betty, it's your turn to make the tea for Mr. Brown and take the tea and biscuits in for Mr. Brown. Well, I say he can bloody well make his own bloody tea, eh? So there they all are. So anyway, what do men and women have in common? They both distrust men. Anyway, the big problem is that a lot of men regard women as bodies. And they don't see women, they treat women as bodies rather than people. And here's an advert in the 70s, and it says, if this car were a lady, it would have its bottom pinched. And a lady came and spray painted, if this lady was a car, she'd run you over. Which is great, isn't it? But it's a big issue, isn't it? And this body thing is a real problem, because so many women, most women, have such a negative image of themselves, body image, and it's a real problem. And, cosmetic surgery and all the money spent on those things, but it's the whole person that matters. Anyway, cosmetic surgery used to be a taboo subject. Now you can talk about Botox, and nobody raises an eyelid. And here we are, back in the day, all these women having perms in the hairdressers, and this was a crazy invention, you see, by a man. And look at all these women having all their self-confidence pulled out of them, and they're all having perms. Perm, a very ingenious invention invented by a man. All these perms. But do you think men care about perms? No. But all these women think, oh, I must have a perm. And they're having all their self-confidence pulled out of them. And then police women, back in the day, their job was to make cups of tea for the men. And they did nothing else. And the upper class women, what did they do? They used books to balance on their heads, to learn so they could learn to walk with appropriate wiggle and dignity with a book on their head. Can't they use books for better things? God, blimey. One of the big problems young girls face today, or young women, is they keep being bothered by these men asking for explicit photographs of themselves, asking them to show explicit photographs. Recent research shows about 80% of young women have been subjected to these requests, and they kind of feel obligated, and it all goes wrong. Sometimes these images are circulated inappropriately. Happened to a friend of mine. His daughter sent a picture to her boyfriend, and that boyfriend breached her trust and showed it all around the boys' school, and that was against the law. Anyway, this sort of behaviour needs to be nipped in the bud. And what you can do, there are all sorts of apps now that you can download, and you can ping back, young ladies, you can ping back to the men. Here's one. Can you be a bit more classy? Or one like that. Here, I like this one. I'm not into that kind of thing. I'm not into that. And, it's never going to happen. Pigs will fly first. I like that one. Okay, it's never going to happen. And these men are sending terrible pictures of themselves. So, here we are. You got this one. Put it away. So, relationships need to be about people, need to be about trust, need to be about genuine affection, respect, compassion, support. Christ's sake, men, don't ask the young ladies sent pictures of themselves. Just smile at them. You know, that's all you need to do is be nice. Listen for once to them and engage them in conversation. And smile. Be caring. Equality is important. Be considerate. Be honest. Respect. Boundaries. Faithful. Support. Communication. Be genuine and have a laugh. Be happy. Simple, isn't it, really? And for Christ's sake, don't look for problems. Be solution focused when you come along. Yeah, be a bit of a balancing act. And it's important to talk to each other as adults. Yeah. So, women have made huge progress over the years. They ain't just there to serve us ice creams in the cinemas and things like that. Do you know, just after the war, about 0% of doctors in the United Kingdom were female. Now, nearly 50% of GPs and hospital doctors are female. And in fact, most of the doctors aged under 35 are now women. So what a big change. There's been a huge change now in more women being self-employed and owning their own businesses. A profession that was almost exclusively male was architects, and they're coming right up, the women, and they're nearly on a even keel now, where women are about 50, just about 45% of architects now are women. Amazing, isn't it? And, you know, years ago it was like 0%. What do men and women have in common? They both distrust men. Anyway, this low body confidence is such a big issue. It's so important to love your own body, Don't worry about it so much. Remember, a smile is more important than how you look. Eh? We've got to beat eating disorders in this country. It's rife. And people self-harm. We need to support women more to believe in themselves. We need to listen and to support pregnant women more. 1 in 4 pregnancies result in miscarriage, but it's like a taboo subject. And we need to get away from these taboos and be more supportive. We need to ban fat shaming altogether. It is despicable. We need to love people for the way they are. Yes? Equality is win-win. It's win for women and win for men. My advice to women is be a team player. Don't go out there to undermine men. Value outcomes. We need to value outcomes at work, not how long it takes to do a job. That way is fairer. You need to empower yourself. Learn how to manage your manager. That is such a skill. Don't put yourselves down. Don't sit outside the room or right in the corner at meetings. Sit at the table. Do take part. Do ask questions. Politics is a big problem in this country because it's ageist, it's sexist, and it's orientated to those people with lots of money. We need to ban lots of money to encourage more people to get involved in politics. We need to encourage good people in our local community, good women, and praise them and encourage them to be involved in politics. Too many rich men parachuted in who just give huge donations to political parties. That's no good. We need to grow up equal, okay? It's okay for girls to play with trains. It's okay for boys to play with dolls. Why not? Why isn't it a good thing for a young boy to learn to push a pram? Eh? So, it's okay for girls to join the Scouts. Should be okay for boys to join the Girl Guides. Why not? As long as they behave appropriately and in an equal manner. We need to praise. We need to praise boys for being a bit more caring. I couldn't believe it. When my son went to school, all the school meal stuff was addressed to my wife. It's like they're being sexist. They assumed that the women in the household would sort out the dinner money. Well, no. It's the responsibility of the male also. So anyway, that's my message for today. We need to work at this. Equal pay still hasn't come to this country. It's a disgrace. Don't assume that pink is for girls, because pink used to be for boys and light blue used to be for girls. We need to be more confident about ourselves and work on boosting people's self-esteem to contribute and to be team players in our society. We need to be inclusive. Okay, that's it. Anyway, have a nice day and thank you for listening. Cheerio now. Bye-bye.